Diaries, and to today's tutorial, which is about dancing at weddings for your first time. I know, especially in my city, Melbourne, we have lots of Lebanese people, lots of Egyptian people, lots of other people who just love belly dancing as well, and if they're getting married, then they would love to have dancers at their wedding. I know in Europe it's getting hot now, with hot weather, you always have more weddings coming on, so for many of you it might be your first time performing at one of these types of events. So if it is, good luck. I hope these tips help you, and I'd love to hear how your experience goes. So if you're new to Belly Dancer Diaries, please check it out. I have lots of tutorials and discussions about belly dancing, and make sure you subscribe so that you can be notified of when new videos are released. So, dancing at weddings. There are two main types of performances that you'll be asked to do at a wedding. One might be the zaffe or the entrance, and the other might be a proper show. So if you're doing the zaffe, the entrance, you're entering with the bride and groom. This is very traditional, and also it can be quite nerve-wracking for the bride and groom. The bride and groom don't necessarily love dancing as much as you do, so you have to really be there to try and calm their nerves. Even if it is your very first zaffe, your first wedding, you don't want to be nervous because they will be feeling nervous. You think about it, you're going into a room. It might be with 100 people, it might be with 500 people, but they're people you don't know. Even though they're all watching you, they're watching the bride and groom more, but as well for the bride and groom, they're being judged on something that they don't necessarily do every day, which is their dancing. And as well as that, the bride and groom know everybody, so they can feel very stressed coming out for the entrance. Same goes for the bridal party. If you're entering with a whole big bridal party, they can be very nervous as well. So you want to say and show that you know what you're doing, you're confident about them, give them confidence as well. It's really bad if you go in and then you say, okay, so who goes first? I don't know, you going first or am I going first? Oh, I don't know what's happening, this is my first time doing it. Don't start like that. Instead, make sure you come in, be calm. The brides always look beautiful, you can tell them so, and just make sure that you take away your own stress and you can try and calm everybody as well. If you are doing a zaffe, normally there's quite a few of you dancing. There'll be at least 2 belly dancers normally, but you might have drummers as well, you might have musicians, male dancers jumping around too, so you'll have a group of you dancing, helping the bride and groom enter. So if you are doing that, the next thing to be very careful of is dancing with other people. If you have drummers, they're jumping around, very joyous, just like you are as well. They might be hitting their drums really big like this. Make sure you know where your own space is because people are moving a lot. It's not like a restaurant where the only people moving tend to be the waiters, everyone else is sitting down. You've got drummers beating like this, you don't want to get hit in the face, you don't want to get hit anywhere. You've also got people coming up and dancing with you. So be very conscious of who is around you, where you are in space, and making sure you give yourself enough room, or you're doing moves that you can do without much room. The next thing is that, like in our restaurant video that I told you about a few weeks ago, saying first things to do at a restaurant, and it's also all about the audience, this time it's all about the bride and groom. And typically really it's about the bride. It's about the groom as well, but it's more about the bride. So you want to dance around the bride and groom. You want to have lots of energy. You don't necessarily want to be showing off all your complicated moves. You want to be complimenting the bride and groom. Something that can happen quite often is that people will come, they'll hold the bride and groom up, they'll be reaching them up, then you can be doing your nice hip drops, looking up towards them. Or what's also nice is if the bride and groom are in the middle dancing, if you come down, you can do a nice shoulder shimmy down, and then you can be doing your hip drops on the floor. So from the side, I'm coming down to the floor, just doing my hip drops, looking up at the bride who's standing in front of me, or doing your shoulder shimmy as well, something like this. Keep it simple with your moves. You can do really complicated, beautiful moves, but keep in mind as well, if you're doing a zaffe, it's all going to be improvised. I have a video on improvisation. I'll link that below so that you can watch that as well if you're nervous about improvising. But if you come in for a zaffe, Everyone's going to be wanting to dance with you, or they might be very shy. You might only have the bride and groom, you might have you and one other dancer, or you might have a whole group of you. It always depends on the dynamic. The other thing is as well that usually the DJ will choose the music and choose how long you dance for. So that means you can't stop mid-song, you can't choreograph what you're going to do because you don't know what music's going to be played. If you're doing a floor show, then it's quite a different scenario. Usually the floor show comes on partway through the reception. The bride and groom have already entered, people are eating their dinner, they're not ready to dance yet, or they want to have a little bit of a break and they want to see something beautiful. In that case, it's beautiful to choreograph something. I love using big props for weddings. Often with weddings, you have a very big reception centre. Not always, sometimes it can be a small space as well. But if you have a big dance floor and that's just for you or you and your other friends dancing, it's beautiful to use lots of big colourful props. So some props that you can use are obviously your veils, your fan veils, your wings, your candles. It adds to the atmosphere. It's beautiful, really beautiful when you have the space, and I love doing it because there aren't many venues where you can use things like wings. So if you get the chance, why not use your wings, and people will love it as well. The other thing is that you want it to be joyous. This is partly when you're using your expression, but also in the music you choose for your show. So if you're doing the zafe and the music is improvised, the DJ will choose what to play. If you are choosing your music yourself for a show, please don't choose any breakup songs. That's just, you would never do that in a wedding, in a normal wedding, any wedding. Even if you weren't dancing at it, you would never play like a breakup song when the bride and groom are dancing or for a show. You want to do something that's beautiful. Yes, it can be a love song, but you at least want one with a happy ending so that the bride and groom feel good, especially if they can understand the language and they can understand the song. A sad song about relationships breaking up is not a good idea. Now, this is a little bit of a selfish tip, but if you are dancing and you're choosing the time for you to dance, try and go before speeches, not afterwards. So many times I'm told, oh yeah, we'd like a belly dancer. We thought, the belly dancing could go on straight after the speeches. So the speeches will go for 10 to 15 minutes and then you'll come straight on. Speeches hardly ever go for 10 to 15 minutes. People always like to talk more. You can't control how much people are going to talk. Sometimes people will be nervous, so they won't be ready to talk, so you have to then wait. And if you have a strict schedule of getting from one gig to another, try to be before the speeches rather than after, or a long time after, not straight after, because most likely they'll be running late. In most of my experience, speeches have very, very rarely run on time. The other thing is that if you are doing a show, it's nice to still get people up to dance. I personally love getting kids up to dance because by this stage of the night, they're often a bit tired for them. It's really fun, it's some entertainment. People like to watch the kids dancing. Got other friends who love to get lots of men up to dance because people find that funny as well. So go with what you like, what you feel comfortable with, getting people up to dance and enjoy it. So I hope these tips have been helpful. If you've liked this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you have your first wedding performance coming up soon, I'd love to hear from you. Please write in the comments below, what things are you scared of? What tips do you need? Oh, one more thing I was going to say, when I perform at a wedding, I nearly always take my zills as well. I find it much more festive if I'm walking around doing my roving with my zills, because if I'm playing while I'm going around, it really increases the energy, and the celebration is all about joy. So please leave your comments. As I said, join our Facebook group as well, Shimmy Shakers. It's all about technique if you'd like to have some discussions about belly dancing technique. And good luck for your show, good luck for your zafe, for the weddings, and happy dancing.